Ashley here, and this is a look we're going to be creating today. It's kind of a fun smoky look with some gray liner. I'm first going to start out by priming my eyes using the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam concealer, applying a few dots to my lid and then blending it out with my finger. Then I'm going to set it in place with a powder puff in the Cosmetics Portrait Mode Refining Setting Powder, just like so. And then we're going to be using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I'm dipping into the shade Mesh with the Morphe V205 brush and applying that into the outer corner as well as into the crease, creating a V shape in the outer corner and blending it about halfway upwards towards the brow. Slowly building the color up. You can always add more, but you can never take it backwards, so I like to just slowly build it up over time, bringing it about halfway across so we can have a little bit of color on the front portion of the lid. I'm dipping into the shade Mesh again with a V203 brush from Morphe, applying that shade to the lower lash line, bringing it all the way in towards the inner corner, making that about the thickness of the brush, and then kind of blending out that bottom edge so there's no harsh lines. Next, we're going to add a little bit of depth. I'm dipping into the shade Tender with a V206 brush and applying the shade into the outer corner and then blending it inwards and into the crease a little bit. I'm being careful to keep this one lower than our previous shade so you can blend it up into it so the two kind of meet in the middle. Really just creating a seamless blend between the two. I'm being careful to maintain that V shape in the outer corner, following the upward slope. Upwards is kind of that bottom part of the sideways V shape, and then curving it inwards, kind of following the curve of the crease. Just blending all the edges. With the V206 brush again, I'm applying a little bit of that shade to the lower lash line to add depth, bringing it about halfway, and then I'm using a V200 brush and applying the shade Travertine on the lid. I'm concentrating the color on the lid and then slowly feathering out the edges so there's no harsh lines. I'm also kind of pulling it onto those colors on the outer corner, so bringing it about 2/3 of the way in, and then using a light hand on the edges like so. Just kind of pulling it. With the V200 brush again, I'm applying the shade Fair to the inner corner, using little feathering motions on all the edges, making a backwards C shape in the outer corner, pulling it onto the lid a little bit, as well as pulling it into the lower lash line area. Slowly building the color up. Next, with the Buxom Cosmetics liner in the color Throw shade, I'm lining my waterline as well as the upper waterline, and then setting it a little bit in place with some eyeshadow. Once we have that lined, I'm going to apply a little bit to the lower portion of the lower lash line, keeping it tight to the lashes, bringing it about halfway, and then we're going to smoke that out. So using little side-to-side motions, kind of brushing it into the lashes as well so there's no gaps, like so. Then I'm smoking that out a little bit with some eyeshadow in the V200 brush. With the Urban Decay 24/7 Inks liner in the shade Oil Slick, I'm going to line my upper lash line as well as draw an inner corner wing. I do have a blog post all about drawing on an inner corner wing on ashleykaylamakeup.com if you do want to check that out. But I'm going to start lining my lash line, keeping this very tight to the lashes, keeping the line thinner towards the inner corner, and then gradually making the line thicker towards the outer corner. I like to do this in little tiny short strokes. I feel like I always mess it up when I try to do it one shot, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. I just draw little lines at a time and just slowly connect everything. You can also clean things up if you make a mistake, but this gradually makes the line thicker, which can always ruin it, but this seems to be a little bit of a safer method for me. I'm drawing on the wing following the upward slope of my lower lash line and then filling that shape in. I'm going in with the L'Oreal Panorama mascara, applying it to my upper and lower lashes, and then gluing on the Lilly Lashes in the style Inviting to the underside, and then that completes the look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will link everything down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!